You are watching The New American Media.
You are listening to the Agree to Disagree program on thenewamericanmedia.com.
Once again, thank you very much for sticking around with us. My name is Brian Engelman, and it's thenewamericanmedia.com. It's the Agree to Disagree program. If you are listening live, that break took about 12 seconds. If you're watching it on YouTube or embedded on websites all across the globe after the fact, well, it's a totally brand new segment. We are joined with Dr. Jose Jaramillo. Dr. Jose Jaramillo has been studying the Mayan culture, the Mayan calendar, and more. He has his project called The Alignment Within. It's a documentary, and you can take a look at it. You can find that, that's at thealignmentwithin.com, correct, Dr. Jose Jaramillo?
That's correct.
Okay.
Thealignmentwithin.com. Also, they can check it out my personal website, which is Maya1320.com. You can check it out. There are products about myself, some links to several videos that we have done, and the trailers of the two documentaries, and also the calendar events where I'm going to be next. So if if those who are interested in learning more about the Mayan calendar and they want to know where I'm going to be in the next, all the way from here to 2012, well, that's the way how to find out, to go to my website, Maya1320.com.
Very nice. Now, we left off with a couple of things there that had me really thinking. When you said that we are all God, that's a very interesting concept, and I want to get a little bit more information there. But before we get to that, you also mentioned that we're in a time of exodus, and you mentioned, well, what if we abandoned our cities and we change the way things happen? That point particularly, abandoning our cities. Can you expand upon that? Because I think you're really starting to get at something interesting, where we've heard a lot of talk lately about, well, if you don't like the system, if you're not approving of what's happening, maybe you shouldn't be doing banking with one of these major institutions. Maybe you should find a local savings and loan, a local bank, or maybe just change what you're doing into barter systems or working together on things. Because if you're not a fan of how things have been manipulated, maybe it's time to try something different. So when you said abandoning our cities, how do you mean?
Well, I think that, and you even explaining really nice, is that, if you want to, to bring some money into something, right? And you always have the ability. That's what capitalism is, if you work hard to have those things for you, and you decided, if you're going to buy a Lexus or you're just going to buy a bicycle, right?
Right.
So I think that if we find our way of how we can be self-sufficient, you can buy a piece of land that has already water on it, that you can put your own sewer right there, and you have your water. You don't need to pay for water. And if you go solar panels, we now know how to create full electricity, and not to be able, and that can last forever. So if you're doing that, and if you are, if you're in charge of your or planting your own food, and you just want to live simple, you don't need money. You don't need money. So I think that when I'm talking about time of exodus, is because I sometimes I have like a daydream of, okay, how maybe it was on the time of the Mayans, and this is one of the, I didn't like at all the the Apocalypto movie of Mel Gibson. But they show in one part of the movie what I always have been suspected, and I think that that's what happened with the Mayan civilization, because the king, who was in control of everything, because he has his own priests and astronomers. They knew exactly when was going to be a solar eclipse, so they put all these theatrical of, yes, we're going to do sacrifice, which the Mayans never practiced human sacrifice, but okay, that's okay. Okay, we're going to do this. So But we know exactly that that day is going to be a solar eclipse. So once that is happening, we are in control of everyone because everybody will think, oh, this guy is God. He can manipulate the heavens through the sacrifice so that God can listen to him and bring water, and so our land can be fertile, right? So that is kind of the manipulation.
Yeah, that was a bit of a con job. It was like a David Copperfield or Chris Angel. It was a magic act, essentially. Penn and Teller.
Exactly.
It was a Las Vegas show.
Exactly. Exactly. That was the magic act, right? So, but what happened at the long term when really there were no rain after many of these kind of magical events and nothing happened? So the people start getting tired and hunger, and they say, you know what, this guy is not God. This is not connected with anything. So
right.
People start abandoning the city, and most of people, New Ages, for example, they say, oh yeah, the Mayans, they went to another dimension. No. You know what? I don't think so. I don't think because we still see the remains of the Mayan in many of the Mayan sites. We still have descendants of the most of the royal kings of that time. So I think that what happened is that people were tired of their societies. They were tired of the governments that they decide to abandon the city. So once that you have no one to work for you, what is going to happen with your control system? It's going to collapse. If people don't go to churches, religions will collapse. If people don't go to work, the whole system will collapse. So, like you're saying, now, of course, it's another times. For people, it takes more willpower to do that because they don't want to let go the nice house, the nice Lexus, the nice cell phone. They're like with their comfortable life, but in the other hand, they know in their heart that they're losing everything, just
right.
like the word mortgage, right? Death until death. So, it's like what I'm doing. If I want to keep myself going like this for the rest of my life, or I really want to separate myself from this society and to start something that I can be my own boss, I can control my own life, my own destiny, I can be self-sufficient. And you and I, we know that there's a lot of people out there now, they're buying a land, cheap price for that, they're building they're putting their yurts, they're building their communities, and they want to be away from all this dream of illusion because the money thing is just an illusion. Yeah. Come here and we give you all kind of credits, but you're going to be in debt for the rest of your life. So what kind of independence you have? So I think that's what I feel about the Exodus. It's like the house is burning. The whole building of this economical system is collapsing and is burning into flames. And what are you doing? You want to get out of the flames, or you want to burn yourself within the flames of this system that we've seen that is collapsing, and it will collapse. And of course, and by in the meantime, the power holders, they will do whatever it takes to keep rolling on this dream, this game. They will do whatever they can, but it's inevitable. I think that the victory is ours already, and they know that.
Yeah.
They know that the victory is on the side of the truth. The victory is ours. The victory is for those who always are being working for the spiritual and the freedom of ourselves. And that's inevitable, and whether people like it or not, I think that we will see all these hierarchies crumbling and losing a lot of power. I like I say to you, we still probably be around if we take of ourselves for 2039. We're young persons, and I think that we will see that to happen, Brian.
Well, it's really interesting because you talk about things falling apart, and we've said it on this program before because we talk about a lot of politics and not Republican Democrat because it's such a false choice, it's such a false illusion, where it's both taking you the same place, except they just keep you arguing over fringe issues while the system that isn't working continues no matter who you vote for. And we talk about that all the time, that it must have been fantastic for the people who had this kind of power and control over everyone. It must have been amazing to live like that for so long, but I don't think there's anything possible that can keep this system going. I don't think there's any way that lies are going to win out. There's no way to put your finger in the dam to hold back all of the trillions of gallons of water that are on the way. The dam is going to break, it's going to flood, and it's going to revitalize the land. And it's interesting because when you talk about abandoning our cities, I was just thinking we broadcast out of Los Angeles, California, and I just thought of, Escape from L.A. and some of these other movies about getting out of a major city in case of a catastrophe. But then you brought it right back to the Mayan civilizations. And it's interesting when the people realize that there's a fraud, there's a scam, the system is entirely rigged in the favor of only a couple of people while everybody else is suffering. It's interesting that you related it right back, that they walked away from these great Mayan civilizations when the leaders no longer had the faith of the governed. I find that just amazing to draw that parallel, especially on the week that we, as Americans, celebrate 4th of July and independence. I think it's great.
Yeah, and I think that, like I said, young people, like yourself, like many others that are, having shows like yours, and I think that a lot of the dinosaurs, like we call in Mexico, like the old ones ruling our country,
Right.
I think that eventually the new blood, the new generation, people that were born in the 80s, we were seeing them in political positions. People, young blood with more openness, with more conscious of what we've been doing with our planet. That's why I see that, when the whole dam will breaking apart and it will be this flood, and then again the new beginning. I think new generations with new thoughts will be coming up because, not everybody was born to be like a politician. It's a huge thing to do. You need to have, really to born to be a politician. But I think that, more and more people, young people, the new generations are having all these thoughts, and they want to see a better world, and they know that we all are one, and they know. So I think eventually we're going to have kind of a new beginning, a new start, because I was telling the other day, in Mexico, we find out 70 years ago, 80 years ago, that the politician is all corrupted. Here in America, we just barely start seeing it, how, whether you vote for the Republican or you vote for the Democrat, it's the same thing, and nobody cares anything about you. So I think that now more and more, and this is something that I say in 1998, if the people of the United States change, if the people of the United States will stand in the side of the truth and raise our hands, the whole world would change, Brian, because everybody will see in the other side of the world, look, the civilians in the United States, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing, and look at what is happening with their system, with their government. Oh, it's collapsing. Ooh, the whole world will change. I can tell that, and I think that will happen. I can see that can happen.
Well, that really is some very positive. It's very positive to think that way, and it's very helpful to have confidence. Very few successful people were doubting themselves. You got to fake it to make it. Whether you're feeling confident or not, you got to project that. I mean, here in Los Angeles, it's, you get this driven home every day. Perception is reality. If you seem confident, then you will be confident. If you project that you want a new system and you want to change what this experience is like for humans on Earth, then we can attract others to us. And, I had one final question here, and it was kind of regarding, going through your website here about the alignment within. I had a question about the law of attraction. There's many different ways to think about it. And you were saying all these positive things that, yes, this is marking a time period that we should be excited about. The old failed systems are failing. They are leaving. The dinosaurs are leaving. They're not going to be roaming around getting in everyone's way anymore. But regarding the law of attraction, I think that for some people this is going to be a bumpy road. I think that for the people in power, there may be quite a few psychopaths that wouldn't mind killing and oppressing and trying to enslave and ensnare, and it could get messier before it gets better. So regarding the law of attraction, my kind of thought was, if you put a life jacket on the boat, I don't think that that's attracting the boat sinking. I think it's a good backup plan in case something unexpected happens. I like to prepare. I like to think about worst case scenario and just say, well, I have taken these steps, so I'm no longer scared because I'm prepared. Can you draw a parallel between how you think humans should react, how humans should prepare, and as far as the law of attraction, the energy we're sending out, the difference between being fearful and being prepared? Is it a clear-cut line, or is it a lot of gray area, do you think?
Well, I think that, of course, we need to understand that even in our prophecies and in the book of the Popol Vuh, always when a cycle gets into its completion, the four elements manifest themselves to cleanse the Mother Earth. The earth to earthquakes, the fire to fires, the wind to hurricanes, and to the water, floods and tsunamis. I think we personally, we have several special spots being prepared with food and water and with shelters and things like that, just in case of an emergency evacuation process. And also, like, for example, iodine. It's important to have iodine among your things, because in case of a nuclear reaction, you should put iodine immediately to prevent a nuclear reaction in your body. So there is many things, but I think that people, the most important thing is to trust in your inner self, and to try to be in the right place in the right time. If you see, like I was saying, that if the house is burning, well, you should take yourself out of the house that is burning. If we see that this whole system is collapsing, you don't want to be there until the whole thing will collapse. You want yourself to be in a much safer place. So I will suggest people to take some precautions into what is coming up next. Of course, what only matters is the soul and the spirit. And if the Creator wants you to be part of whatever change is happening on the earth, you need to trust that you will be there. But of course, you need to take care of yourself as well. So I would suggest to always, the best thing is to think positive, that the Creator will put you in the right place in the right moment. But at the same time, you must need to be aware. You must need to take precautions, and especially because there is other people that maybe can relate on you. So like wife and kids, or father and mother, or brothers and sisters, I don't know. But I think that always to have a plan B, or even sometimes plan C, is a good way. And especially because we saw what happened in New Orleans. FEMA will not give a will not care about you if something big happened. If something happened in Hawaii, we know that in Hawaii, in any of the islands, in 1 week, the people will run out of food. So I think it's important to prepare for the changes, okay? Just like in the old days, I think now food is really important to storage. Some food, some water, some candles, because you never know. The Red Cross, FEMA, they will not go and they will not rescue because, they will go first themselves than anybody else. So I think that everybody should take their own precautions to be ready and to try to not to be in one of the big cities. I think that it's always important to be out, to live in a smaller cities because it's more safer than to be also not to be close to the coast, of course. But I think that we need to think positive that the whole change will be for a better world, and that we really want to accomplish that. So I want to tell people today that we must need to think positive and to achieve that.
Well, there's one more thing I wanted to address. I didn't think. I swear, every time I think I'm done asking you questions, I think of 5 more, and we're gonna have to book another one of these shows again real soon because you and I are not the only 2 people interested in whatever is changing. There are a lot of people searching this out, and it's been really great having you on the program today. And I just wanted to kind of touch on one thing. You just mentioned the Creator during the last comment you were making at the beginning of that, talking about the Creator. And if you were to check out our Facebook page at thenewamericanmedia.com, our Facebook page on the New American Media, it's a picture of me climbing El Castillo, with the serpent and Quetzalcoatl on the equinoxes where the serpent goes up and then the serpent comes down. Do you think, because a lot of major religions, whether it's Christianity and Christ or Quetzalcoatl, and they talk about we will return, and there's been a surge in shows like Ancient Aliens. A lot of people are really interested in human history and where civilizations came from and our place in the galactic universe. Do you think there's a possibility that there could be a return on December 21st, 2012? We've heard that before, and I was just curious. We hadn't touched on that one yet.
A return of aliens to our planet or the return of ourselves from where we were coming from?
Is it the same thing?
Well, because I think that this planet is not our planet. I think that we came here just for this is just like you say, this is another show. But I'm just gonna give you a quick peek on that. But I think that we're kind of here on this planet to taste or to our free will and to really understand what this whole game is all about. I sometimes feel like this is like a purgatory. This is the place where the soul was sending to this planet in a physical form, trapped in a physical form, and our task is to find a way out from this reality. Find a way out from this physical third dimensional where we find ourselves. Because, like I was saying, we are an endless spirit. And as an endless spirit, I want to go back to the source. And I think that the main game of all this is that once that you conquer death, once that you become an immortal god or goddess, and then you go back to the source, then with the full free knowledge of who you are, then you can choose now freely if you want to reincarnate in which planet whenever you want it, and to get out of there whenever you want it. I think that that's the main game, what is going on here. But the power holder, how they nurture themselves, is by eating out of your own energy field. That's why they want to keep you controlled. That's why they want you to not awake. But if only one human awake and gets out of their circle of trust, you're not a threat for them, because they know, okay, well, out of the 7 billion, there is only one that will return to the source. That's okay. Let him go. No problem. We still have more here to entertain. So I think that's for me the game of life. You know, we're like a hamsters going around, and we don't see how it's going to end. So I think that our main purpose, being here on this planet, is to becoming immortal beings, to be, of course, our spirit will never end, and to conquer that all this is just an illusion. You know, that's why even, you know, I want to mention Jesus, because he's one of the last people who came to this planet to wake humans up. But he even says, you know, the fox had their holes and the bird had their nest, but the Son of Man doesn't have a place to rest its head. You know, even in the book of Revelation, you can find, pay attention where you are, because where you are is where Satan has his throne. Okay, so I think this reality, I think this planet was sort of kind of a purgatory, and a lot of souls were sending here to this planet to purify themselves. And once that you purify yourself and you recognize what this place is, then you say, okay, I'm get it. I know what I need to do. I just want to go back to the source. So that's why I'm saying that we don't belong to this planet. So whether they're going to come and do like some kind of a rapture, I don't think so. Because we are the ones that we are those seeds, those star seeds that came to this planet to try to change things little by little. But when it's the right time, then we will, with plenty and with full consciousness of each individual, we will return to the source, whether it's today or whether it's tomorrow or whether it's in 1,000 years. But eventually, we all will be there, back to the source. So that's my own philosophy. That's my own point of view of what is this, Brian.
Well, there's a band called Tool, and they have a song called Parabola. The lead singer is Maynard James Keenan, and the lyrics in that say, "This body holding me reminds me of my own mortality. Embrace this moment. Remember, we are eternal. All this pain is an illusion." And there's a lot of people that are saying similar things. You talk about purgatory. That would be, a Christian or Catholic kind of concept of not quite heaven, not quite earth, something in between, like a waiting room. We've heard it said.
Exactly.
We've heard it said where the earth is like a college, and we have to graduate to get out of here.
Exactly.
We've heard some people say it's like a video game, kind of where the constructs have already been built. The world is what it is. It's kind of like the movie The Matrix. When you take the right pill and you wake up and you say, "Oh, this is how it operates." It's almost like, I don't know, like artificial intelligence when a computer realizes that it's intelligence. That's really all humans are at the end of the day. It's a supposedly eternal soul, according to lots of sources. The human body is really just a astronaut suit that we walk around in. This is our mode of transportation. Just like our human body gets into a car, our soul is driving a body on this earth. And it's really interesting to think about what would happen if we all woke up at the same time. And it really feels like December 21st is starting to turn into, it's time to wake up. It's almost like like the alarm clock is going to start waking us up, and not in a bad way where we're tired and hungover and sleepy and groggy, but in a good way where we can finally see, maybe for the first time in a long time. So I'll tell you what, Dr. Jose, I seriously could talk to you for a few more hours, but we do have to wrap up the program. Before we get going here, just take the last minute that we have and kind of let people know where they can find you, where the best place they can check out the alignment within, anything else that you want to let them know, the projects you're involved with, and where they can stay in touch with you.
Well, I thank you so much, Brian, for this opportunity to address all your listeners, and everybody can find more information about me and my personal website, www.maya, which is MAYA1320.com, Maya1320.com. I think my next stop I will be, because I'm going to be involved in a huge gathering that is going to take place in September in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's organized by the Seed Institute, and it's a gathering of many Hopi elders, Mayan elders, Inca elders. I know that Barbara Marx Hauer will be there, Greg Braden. But as part of the promotion to bringing people to this conference in September, the Seed Institute is taking me the next weekend, the 13th. I'm going to be in Albuquerque showing the alignment within, and also in Santa Fe, New Mexico, doing a screening of the alignment within. And then in August, I will be in Las Vegas doing another screening. But you guys can check it out, my website, Maya1320.com, where I'm going to be. If someone wants to send a question or a comment, they can do it at Maya1320@hotmail.com. And if you really want to check it out, this amazing gathering that is going to take place in Albuquerque from September 13th to the 18th, you can check it out. It's under the Seed Institute. I think it's .org or .net. I don't remember, but you guys can Google it. Also, I will be part of a gathering. Is the Mexico Gathering 2012 website, and I'm involved with this group. They're taking me to Cancun, to the Riviera Maya, for a 6-day trip in the Riviera Maya to celebrate the winter solstice. So you guys can check it out in my website. But I want to thank you, Brian, again for this opportunity, and hope that we can chat in another time. And thank you so much.
Well, Dr. Jose, we will do this again. We will communicate offline here when we wrap this up in the next few days, and try to schedule another one, because there's so many things that I think about every time I talk to you, and I never have enough time to get to it. I did want to say one thing. You were talking about getting out of the cities and going to a place where you have solar power, you're capturing your rainwater, you're growing your own food. When you're in New Mexico, when you're in Albuquerque, when you're in Santa Fe, have you ever heard of earth ships or Taos, New Mexico, in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains? Have you heard of Taos, New Mexico, or earth ships?
Earth ship? That's what you're saying?
Yes, earth ship. It's one word, earth ship, and it's all off the grid, 100% self-sustainable living. I'll send you a link offline. I want you to take a look, because if you have a chance to drive through Taos, New Mexico, when you're over there near Santa Fe and Albuquerque, you have got to check it out. I went there for 6 weeks, did an internship. It's amazing. We'll talk some more about it. But if you have an extra day, I would love for you to check it out. It's totally right up your alley. Absolutely.
All righty. Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you so much for this opportunity again.
Thank you, Dr. Jose. You have a great day. Okay, well, that was Dr. Jose Jaramillo, everybody. One of our favorite guests on the face of this earth. He really is just full of information if you've ever wanted to know what that is all about. With the Mayan calendar, with 2012, December 21st, it's just so much information, because it gets into politics, it gets into human history, it gets into finance, spirituality, the point of life, the soul, cycles. It's such a complex subject. You really can't ever fully address it in one little show. But we do this show once a week, every Friday from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. Pacific, here on thenewamericanmedia.com. The program is called Agree to Disagree. We're supposed to be able to talk about anything you're not supposed to talk about inside of a bar. Politics, spirituality, religion, finance, etc. I think we got into all of that today. Really good time. We want to thank our sponsor, 3 Black Cats. If you're a girl, you're going to dig this site. It's got really cool tribal earrings. It's got hair accessories, really cool flowers, perfect for belly dancing and fire dancers, and really any woman in your life. There's extreme stuff, then there's middle-of-the-road, really neat products that we want you to check out. And then they also have organic herbal products. body lotions, body butters, lip balms, coconut lime and peppermint lip balms, and other healing products, different salves and ointments, topical herbal products. Please check it out. They're a sponsor of the show. You can find them there at 3blackcats.storeenvy.com. That's the number 3blackcats.storeenvy. That's one E in the middle, .com. And on Facebook, you can find them at the number 3 Black Cats Studio. On Facebook, search 3 Black Cats Studio. That's the number 3, and you can find out more there. Really, if you want to help us, you can support our sponsors. Go buy a few things over there. We're getting this thing going. We've been going for about 15 months here at the newamericanmedia.com, and seriously, all of you guys that are subscribing to the YouTube page and leaving all of your comments and responding on Twitter and favoriting and retweeting, we know that we're connecting with you out there. You know, the 23,000 something video views and the 137 YouTube subscribers and the 12,000 people who are following us on Twitter. It's great. We're just getting going. So if you like the programs, please support our sponsors. Just go take a look. If you're a guy, go buy a few things, put it in a box, and pull it out for your girlfriend, your wife, your mom, your grandmother. Just buy a bunch of things and then give them out. We're always forgetting to buy our products. Support our sponsor. You help the newamericanmedia.com. It's that easy. We do this every week. We want to thank Zach Barris, who was our guest yesterday, talking about the NBA draft. He's in Las Vegas right now, working with Team USA, doing some scouting and evaluation over there. And that was the program yesterday. We just posted all of those radio shows on youtube.com/The New American Media. So for Dr. Jose Jaramillo, thank you so much for your time. For Zach yesterday, thank you so much for your time. For all of you listening out there over the past 15 months, and if you're just finding us today, thank you. Let's stay connected, because who knows what's happening on December 21st. We'll see you next week, everybody. You are watching The New American Media.